Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to EWF Main Event. We've got a great show lined up for you this evening, and we've got lots of action to bring you. Indeed, in fact, 2 title matches in one night. The EWF Women's Championship on the line, as well as Jose No defending the EWF World Championship right here tonight on EWF Main Event. Well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another edition of EWF Main Event, of course, our flagship television show. Now, I thought this week in Detroit, that I would grace you with my presence. Whilst I realise that people of Detroit hardly ever actually accept royalty or would even actually know what royalty means, I'm here tonight for a very, very good reason. And the reason is, I want to congratulate the EWF Universe. I want to congratulate the EWF Locker Room. And I want to congratulate everybody that's involved in putting everything together here in the European Wrestling Foundation. The European Wrestling Foundation has reached a milestone because in a few short weeks we're going to be transitioning to another platform where we're going to have new arenas, we're going to have rebranded shows, and we're going to have a whole new look and schedule here in the EWF. You know what? I'm really excited. You know why? Because I just know how much people believe here in the EWF and how much they believe in this business. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to say thank you, how much we appreciate your support here in the EWF, and how I wish you a great evening. So sit back and enjoy all of the great action here on Main Event this week. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to EWF Main Event, and we have got a great show lined up for you here this evening. It's a special show, really, the one that kind of ends one season and transitions into the next. So we've got 5 great matches, 2 title matches, and who knows, maybe a few surprises along the way. And entering into our first contest this evening, we see Dean Santos, who's going it alone now, away from the former EWF World Champion who left the EWF, unfortunately, due to personal reasons. And Santos hasn't been doing all that bad, but he's going to be taking on somebody who is a real challenge in Existro Horror. So away we go then, folks, into this first contest. And what a great show we've got lined up, as I said before. And, you know, moving into our next platform, obviously we use WWE 2K18 here in the EWF. We're moving on to 2K20, and I'm aware that it's had a mixed reception, but on the way, I'd like to say that the only thing we can compare it with was what we have right now, which is 2K18. And so, you know, I think the main thing for me getting back is the servers, being able to upload and download stuff, which makes things so much quicker and almost a little bit less work on some people who work backstage, like me and Chip Skipper, who produces EWF Horizon. As Santos is taken to the outside by Existro Horror. So, yeah, there's a lot to be gained from it, and I understand that the wrestling simulation, the matches are better. It's obviously likely to be better than graphics-wise than this. You know, a lot of people are comparing it to 2K19, I think, and saying, well, you know, you might as well use that. But I think that it's looking good anyway. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it arrives on Tuesday of next week. So, you know, obviously we haven't got a schedule at the moment. We don't know when the first show back will be. But what I can say to you is that there are matches already forming, and I know this week there's been so much going on backstage here in the EWF. I mean, my office has been absolutely swarmed with superstars wanting matches, got grudges against people, wanting me to sort things out for them. And one of those examples was I was having a meeting with actually a broadcasting company, actually a very, very important meeting, when I heard a big kerfuffle outside the office, a massive noise. And I had to poke my head out of the door and say, guys, can you just keep it quiet? And out standing there was the EWF World Champion, Jose No, and standing next to him was the mysterious Janita. And Janita, believe me, we've seen her in action at a couple of pay-per-views, a couple of times, but she disappears as quickly as she actually appears. And she was giving me this bizarre look, you know, turning her head from side to side and wasn't really saying much. And I said, you know, what is it that you want from me? and I ended up slamming the door in her face because, to be quite honest, I was too busy for it. And then I heard a knock on the door, and I opened it, and then she was still standing there with that bizarre, twisted look on her face. She said, "You know what I want." Cover by Xistro. She said, "You know what I want." And I said, "Wait a minute, security, get this being out of the building," because obviously we were at the EWF HQ offices. And she said, "Well, look, if you give me what I want, you don't need to do this. You don't need to follow through with this, you know." So we agreed that apparently she needed a match against Sabrina, the EWF Women's Champion. And she said, "I don't care how or when it's arranged, but it needs to be a no-holds-barred hardcore match." So that happened during the week. It was agreed. So that's one of the matches we'll be seeing on our new platform. Janita taking on Sabrina one-on-one. We don't know whether Sabrina's going to be the women's champion then or not. We don't know. But a hardcore, anything-goes match between those two is going to be really something. I know also that there's another match coming up tonight. We're seeing a non-title contest between Gunnar Garrett, the former Rising Star champion, and Theodore Skullmaster, who won the title. And Gunnar Garrett is extremely fuming about it. I mean, he thinks that tonight he should have had an automatic title rematch. But the thing is, there isn't an automatic title rematch clause in any contract. So I don't know where he got that information from. But all I can say is, Gunnar, if you've got an opportunity tonight, it is a non-title contest. But obviously, who knows what's going to happen, what the outcome is going to be. And if you prove yourself, then maybe, just maybe, you would get that title match when we come back after the transition. So moving back to our in-ring action. What a knee by Xistro. My goodness me. I mean, Xistro is an absolutely brilliant superstar. He's won so many matches here. And his sister Lisa is also very successful here. They've risen up the ranks very quickly. And they're a big family of wrestlers, and we all know about this. But look at this now. Santos looks to be down on the canvas, and Xistro flying over that full somersault straight into the pin. Referee's there for the 1, 2, 3 for Xistro Horror. So congratulations to Xistro Horror there, picking up the victory against Dean Santos. And I know coming up next, now this is tag team action, as Dead Man's Hand members Derek Gunslinger and Ace Sanders will take on Brothers in Blood, Zulite the Great and the Final Boss. We know what they're all about, and we're going to be seeing this now as they come to fruition. We're seeing there's a tag team division slowly forming. I mean, we need a few more tag teams, but you know what? There's a few out there now already, and I think that it's going to be, it's looking good. It's really looking good at the moment around the formation of tag teams. So tag team action, ladies and gentlemen, coming up next. Well, I don't know what's happening here, but there seems to be some kind of audio technical issue. But out come this formidable tag team in Zulite the Great and the Final Boss. And, you know, that is, for me, I mean, this is the newest tag team we have here in the EWF. And they are really something. They are really something, believe me. So we got there in the end with the audio difficulties. Anyway, moving then into the match now. I mean, this is really something. I mean, you know, these guys are formidable in the ring. As you can see, Derek Gunslinger there in the with the black and the just at the top there, and that's Zulite, the hardcore professional wrestler, going down on him. And the big man, the Final Boss, with the mask on, he's concentrating his efforts on Ace Sanders, who's on the outside of the ring now at the moment. And a shoulder barge takes Sanders to the outside, and then following through with a clothesline is Derek Gunslinger. Like I say, there's 4 members of Dead Man's Hand, so you've got Derek Gunslinger and Ace Sanders. We've also got Gunnar Garrett, who's in action a little bit later on tonight. And then David Paul, who is also in action tonight. So there's 4 members of Dead Man's Hand. They are the most dominant stable here in the EWF at the moment. They have dominated everything. They're in the matches, they're backstage, they're involved in all aspects of the show, I must say. But these 2 guys here are formidable. I mean, they are successful, they know what they're doing, and they really don't take any prisoners whatsoever. So over the top goes Derek Gunslinger. Zulite delivering the clothesline there, taking it to the outside. He's beckoning for Gunslinger to get up. Standing on the corner of that ring, and a clothesline across the top of the head of Gunslinger on the outside. And Final Boss choking out Sanders, still in the ring there. We've got action every single area of the ringside here. The Final Boss and Ace Sanders there. Look at the Final Boss. It's got to be about 320 pounds of him. Pulls the legs from underneath Sanders. Takes him to the outside. And he's dropped him there right on the edge of that canvas. Ay, 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 that's got to hurt. So whilst all the heads got action outside the ring and action inside the ring, the Final Boss. Oh, wait a minute. Ace Sanders just reversed the move, and Dead Man's Hand are taking control of the match. Great move by Gunslinger and Ace Sanders working together as a team, taking control of this match here tonight. Tornado tag rules. Anything now, well, it's not anything goes, but tornado tag is anybody in and out of the ring, no tags required. And this is a great match. And actually, Zulite has commented it suits them better, really, being a hardcore sort of style of wrestling. Dead Man's Hand are just all out and out brawlers. So Gunslinger now. Drop toe hold on Zulite the Great. But at the moment, anybody could get this match. Anybody can win this match. I mean, it could go either way. See the crowd on their feet there behind the ringside here in Detroit here tonight. As I say, look, any attempt at a cover is going to be scuppered really, as long as the other two guys are in the ring and able to do that. From behind, a drop kick by Sanders, and the final boss takes advantage, but Sanders again with the counter takes down the big man. Zulite has got Sanders, but from behind comes Derek Gunslinger to break it all up again. And Dead Man's Hand have got control of this match. Final boss takes hold of Ace Sanders now. Dives him down, a power slam onto that 300 pounds, but Gunslinger manages to interrupt the count. And that means that Sanders is on the outside now, trying to recover from that huge power slam by the big man. And now he's got him on the top rope. Wait a minute. Zulite stomps down on the face of Gunslinger. And now he drags him out, and the big man up to the top rope, and a flying elbow down on the outside onto the mats. All of that 325 pounds right out here in front of us onto the mats. And this crowd are on their feet, witnessing a great tag team match here tonight on Main Event. And Zulite with the DDT, it could go either way. We got both members of each team down. There is no dominant force here. Cover by Zulite. Two, but a kick out by Gunslinger. Move by the final boss on Ace Sanders. Sanders has held his own against the final boss. My goodness me. He's really proven himself here tonight in this match. Wow, that's really something. So now, Dead Man's Hand are down. We've got Zulite. Zulite with a submission move on Gunslinger. Gunslinger in trouble. Final boss keeping Ace Sanders happy, but he's trying to break it up. But he's too late. He's too late. The Brothers in Blood have won the match by submission. So what a great match there. Brothers in Blood doing the business there. But I mean, hey, what a match. You know, Dead Man's Hand, Brothers in Blood. You can't go wrong when four superstars give you absolutely everything in that ring. And that's what those four guys have just done. And I must say, Ace Sanders, Derek Gunslinger there, they'll be back when we open up in a couple of weeks. We've got a 2K20 game coming out, and we're using a new platform. So congratulations to all four guys as we move into this non-title contest between Gunnar Garrett and the EWF Rising Star Champion, Theodore Skullmaster.
One, 2. Check me out right here, yo.
Yo, the sun don't shine forever, but as long as it's here, then we might as well shine together. Better now than never. Business.
match. But there's been Havoc has asked for a rematch straight away against Purgatory, and if Purgatory accepts, that'll be a third match. It's already been decided for our first show back, and that's great. That's really encouraging. So coming up next, folks, it's EWF Women's Action as the Women's Championship is on the line. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just a point to make there as the introductions are formally made. I had all of these title matches at the beginning of this show taken from the title holders, put in my office and under lock and key. And all I can say is somebody must have busted into the office and taken all these titles and worn them. Gunnar Garrett for one. And now Lisa holding up the EWF women's title. Now that's Sabrina's. Sabrina is the current EWF women's champion. So whatever you think, Lisa, and actually, to be honest, if I want this match to go ahead, but I could stand up right now, put a stop to all of this and say, hey, the match is cancelled. You're going to have to wait a couple of weeks. But no, I'm happy to sit here and have this match played out, and let's find out who is the true EWF women's champion. Lisa Horror then in the red attire against Sabrina in the purple glowing attire. Sabrina captured the EWF Women's Championship from Cheryl Blonde in a really physical match. I mean, I know every match in wrestling is physical, but my goodness me, Cheryl ended up with a shin splint, as I understand it, after the match. I mean, she didn't look like to me that she could continue. It was a bit controversial, really, because I was wondering whether the referee was actually going to stop the match, to be honest. But it carried on, and then Sabrina won. And now we see, obviously tonight, it's a title match. Lisa Horror has been taken on by Cheryl Blonde, the former champion. Cheryl Blonde is now mentoring Lisa Horror, and she's bound to be watching backstage without a shadow of a doubt. Oh, wait a minute. There's one of the signature moves of Lisa. That could do it. That right there could win her the title. Off, and a left shoulder comes up from Sabrina right at the last second. And Lisa following straight up with a splash down from that middle turnbuckle there. And Lisa's trying to take advantage of Sabrina appearing to be really a little bit dazed by all these moves. Lisa's really lightning fast. Sabrina now countering the move now, and that might give it the a little bit of time that Sabrina needs now. Lisa rolls to the outside. A little bit of separation, a little bit of breathing space from Sabrina. So now a slingshot off the top rope there by Lisa, following up with a cover, rightly so. Referee's down there for the 2. And wait a minute, Lisa Horror has won the match and is the new EWF Women's Champion.
I'm just a breath away, losing my faith today. I am just a man, not superhuman. I'm not superhuman. Someone save me from the hate. It's just another war, just another family torn. Just a step from the edge, just another day in the world we live. I need a hero to save me now. I need a hero. I need a hero to save my life. A hero will save me. I've gotta fight today to live another day. Speaking my mind today.
Well, congratulations there goes to Lisa Horror for winning the EWF Women's Championship. Well, she came down to the ring a little bit, to be honest, I think a little bit too confident there wearing the belt. I'm going to have to make sure those belts are under lock and key so that, that doesn't keep happening again. But moving on to our main event coming right up, folks. And it's that EWF World Championship on the line. Jose No, the defending champion, going one-on-one with David Paul, coming up next.
You can run on for a long time, run on for a long time, run on for a long time. Sooner or later gotta cut you down, sooner or later gotta cut you down. Go tell that long-tongued liar. Go and tell that midnight rider. Tell the rambler, the gambler, the backbiter. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Tell him that God's gonna cut him down. Well, my goodness gracious, let me tell you the news. My head's been wet with the midnight dew. I've been down on bended knee, talking to the man from Galilee. He spoke to me with a voice so sweet, I thought I heard the shuffle of wings.
So off we go then. Here we go. And this is an opportunity beyond belief. Now, I would say that David Paul himself has felt that his efforts week after week after week aren't necessarily being recognised here in the EWF in the way that they should have been. And he feels he should have been granted a title match long ago. And that should have been, I don't know which title he was particularly referring to, but I kind of had to agree, and I felt that the time had come for David Paul's efforts, David Paul himself, to be recognised as a main event superstar, and therefore he's right here on main event this week on the very last show before transition, trying to go wrestling for the EWF World Championship tonight. What an opportunity. But you see, the thing is, Jose No won the title fair and square against Christian TK Wheeler, who himself had been a champion for something like 6 months. So a long title reign, and Jose No is not looking to give that title up here tonight, believe me. And we've got the two of them out here in front of us. And Jose No in the purple there against, in the gold and black and red is David Paul, the dealer. The dealer Paul, and into the steel steps now on the outside. Paul taking Jose in. Referee's on a count here. Jose rolls in and breaks the count. Wait a minute. David Paul's still out there. I think the referee's still counting. This could be a count out. Wait a minute. Jose No has won the match on a count out. Jose No is still the EWF World Champion.
Now I face down, I hold out, I reach out to the
All right, wait a minute, wait right there now. I'm standing in this ring with a microphone and I'm telling you this ain't going to go down that way tonight here in Detroit. What do you guys think? It ain't going down that way tonight, folks, and I'm telling you now. Jose, yeah, you won the match by a countout. But let me tell you, that's not the way I want main event title matches to go down here in the EWF. So I'm telling you now, restart the match, ring the bell, let's get this thing going again, and this time I want a decent outcome. And I'm telling you, I'm not having a match ending in that way here on a main event show. Cut the music! God damn it. Jose, no. Yeah, he won the match. It's a count out. Fair and square, fair enough. But I want this match. I want a better conclusion than that here on a show where we're not going to be having any shows for a couple of weeks because we're going into transition. And, you know, I'm not saying that Jose No was taking the easy way out, you know. I'm not saying he was. I just said he took a little bit of a beating on the outside. He managed to roll into the ring, and David Paul wasn't able to get back in time. And I don't think either one of them knew how long they'd been out there for. And that's the problem when you go to the outside. You know, you just have to be aware that the referee is counting if you're going to take the match to the outside. So the match has been restarted, folks. And David Paul now. David Paul beckoning Jose No to his feet, kicks him away to give himself a little bit of space for the drop kick, and oh my goodness me, it all went wrong for David Paul right there. He missed with the drop kick and got himself caught up there in those ropes. Oh dear. Wait a minute. Jose No. Jose No now chopping away and slapping away at David Paul, and he's digging that knee, choking out David Paul now, wearing him down. The title is on the line here, folks. Cover by Jose No, the 2. And David Paul keeps himself in the match. David Paul still with a great opportunity here. Must be one of the most important matches in his entire career, being in the ring, fighting for the World Championship here. Cover now. David Paul with the 2, but Jose No gets the right shoulder up. Now David Paul now going up there, right up to the top rope now. High risk maneuver. And Jose No starts to, well, maybe David Paul took a little bit too much time. Swinging neckbreaker by Jose. Too much time there by David Paul trying to get up to the top rope. Wait a minute, cover by the champion. Wait a minute, Jose No. But David Paul just barely stays in it now. There's been a lot of chat backwards and forwards between these two all week on the Discord channel, folks. In the I can't get my words out. There's so much going on backstage. I mean, during the week on our Discord channel, which is where all the backstage stuff is for the European Wrestling Foundation, these two have been at it, each other's throats all week. And Jose said he couldn't wait to get his hands on David Paul. He was going to squeeze him out. When he got his hands on him, he just really, I could see the guy saying it with his teeth, gritty teeth, really. Huge right hand. Oh, wait a minute. Jose, no. He's got a modified sleeper hold on David Paul, but David Paul's leg, as you can see, is under the bottom rope, and I think the referee called for the break. Wait a minute. Another sleeper. Sleeper hold on David Paul. The legs are wrapped round. David Paul can't go anywhere. Sleeper. Jose, no, wins the match. I think David Paul, no, he hasn't. Yes, he has. The bell rings. Jose No is still the EWF World Champion. Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a great show, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks when we transition to 2K20. Congratulations to Jose No for retaining the title. We'll see you in a couple of weeks. Thank you very much, and good night. Those who sympathize with time, feel a special kind. Do not waste your time.